Your search for the perfect soft and chewy chocolate chip cookie ends right here in this video. I'm going to share a recipe that makes perfect cookies every single time, and it's a completely unbiased opinion because this is not my own recipe. I'm going to leave a link in the description box below of the blog where I found this recipe. I've been making it for about 10 months and I always go back to it because it delivers the best cookies every single time. So what makes this recipe a little bit different is instead of creaming your butter, like softened butter, we're gonna use melted butter, and that is what keeps your cookies soft and chewy even after they have cooled. And because of that, we're gonna have to chill this dough for 1 hour after we make them. So let's just get started making cookies. Okay, so we're gonna start by mixing in the melted butter, and you wanna make sure that your butter has already cooled when you start doing this. Otherwise, you're going to melt your sugar and it's just gonna start messing up the recipe. So our butter goes in, and we're using both white sugar and brown sugar because the white sugar gives us a crispy outside to the cookies and the brown sugar gives us a ton of moisture. And now we're gonna beat this until combined. Okay, and now we're gonna add in 1 large egg and then beat again. And I do want to say you don't have to use an electric mixer. This recipe is really easy to put together with just a bowl and a spatula or a spoon, whatever you have. Okay, so now we're gonna add in our dry ingredients, and what we have here is just all-purpose flour, some salt, and baking soda. The recipe says that the salt in this is optional. I would say it is not optional because salt in sweets really just brings out all the flavors. So you want to start it on low if you're using an electric mixer and flour so it doesn't go all over the place. And then you can turn the speed up a bit. For chocolate, you always want to use higher quality chocolate for chocolate chip cookies. You can use a chocolate bar that you chopped up. I'm using these Calabat, which is a Belgian chocolate, little drops. And I'm using milk and dark chocolate. And you want to use an entire cup. All the measurements are going to be in the description box. And now comes the hardest part of this recipe, which is waiting. I'm gonna use a little bit of plastic wrap, and now we're gonna take this and put it in the fridge for at least 1 hour. It can stay in there for longer. Of course, you can do 2 to 3 hours, but the minimum is 1 hour. Okay, so I just took the cookie dough out of the fridge. We're just gonna be making small little cookie dough balls and placing them onto our baking tray, leaving some space in between them for when they spread a bit in the oven. Just try to make them as even as possible. You could also use a cookie scooper, but I'm just gonna use my hands. Alright, so now we're gonna take our cookies into the oven and we're gonna bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. And we're gonna leave them in there for 10 to 11 minutes. Definitely check on them. You do not want them to burn and you don't want them to brown too much either. Okay, so our cookies are out of the oven. I've only sprinkled a little bit of sea salt on them because that's just how I love to eat chocolate chip cookies, but they look amazing. That is one really good chocolate chip cookie. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. Definitely leave a comment if you decide to try it, and like this video if you enjoyed. Bye!